what I'm trying to do here is I've got the backyard and the front yard hooked up, and the hose is running to the water meter. Okay, this is the front one. It's got the valve assembly there, the secondary valve, primary valve, and another valve that's a timer. Alright, so just for perspective, I'm just going to do a quick run through here. Just bear with me. Okay, so this is how it's hooked up right now. Nothing to impede it. So this is the primary valve. Obviously the primary is the house main. But then we got this one here, the sillcock antifreeze. And then this one here, which is, I mean, look at that. Okay, that's pretty decent. It's a good valve, and this is a good 5/8 hose. I know because I have dealt with it directly. By the way, here, trying to clear out that gutter. There's a clog over there, and I've been using that video camera with the tripod. Anyways, that's unrelated. Now, this is the water meter, so let me boot that up from the solar. Meanwhile, I want to explain something about these two different types of quick connects, okay? The rubber piece came off, it's somewhere here. So you got two main quick connects. There's the one with the built-in valve, and then there's the one that's just a quick connect. Now, since I usually put the valves in line anyway, because that's just how I like to use it, I don't really care to get this one. This one is great for me because it's got a nice channel to get through. It's got a higher flow rate because I just tested it, and it is pretty much a better flow rate. But then you get less pressure. So let's just see what this looks like. See, I open the valve, nothing comes out. And then if you attach something, then it will push down that piece, that water. I use this valve to clean out anything I'm about to connect. See, that's, look at that. That's like a fire hose, man. Look at this. Jeez. Okay, you take a look at the reading. It's almost 5. Probably is 5 gallons a minute. 5.10, 5.1. Okay, and this is coming from the back of the house. This is at least over 100 feet, 130 feet of a 5/8 hose, and it's giving me all the way out here a 5.1 gallon reading. All right, so here we get 5 gallons per minute. Don't turn that off. Don't. Okay, so 4.93, and this is with the hose that when you pull it off, watch this, it just stops because it's got that valve built in. I don't know if so with this one, when you insert the male connector, it actually pushes down in there. See that? I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to hold and do this. Okay, so it pushes that in when you push the male end in here, okay, like this. It actually pushes that, opening the valve. Now, when you pull it off, the water pressure itself, just like with the air compressor hoses, the quick fittings, it presses against there and it blocks all the flow. And then when you attach that thing, it pushes right against the male connector, pushes against, and it opens the valve. And it looks like it has a much lower flow rate, doesn't it? But it's pretty close, although you have to wonder how much pressure is actually taken from it. Anyway, 4.93 versus 5.1. It's a measurable amount. Okay, now let's check the front. This is the front hose, which I showed you before, has the 3 over there. It's got the 3 fittings, 3 valves inline. And so let's take a look at what we have here. 4.93 is coming out right now. All right, so now with the okay, here we go. Look at that, 3.72. Let me just make sure, balance it out. Okay, 4.06. Okay, look at this. 4.06 is all I'm getting. Let me just make sure here. Three times is the charm. Okay, so look at this. Okay, there we go. 4.23. That's without anything on there. 4.1. 5. Okay, back again with this, with the one that actually pops out and closes the valve. As you can see, nothing comes out. Okay, I gotta boot that up again, and I'm going to, right now I've switched to the one without the built-in valve. It's a quick coupler, but it just doesn't have the shut-off built in. So I'm going to just give this a minute to balance out. See what we get here. 4.3. Gotta give it a couple of moments. 4.23. 4.32. Okay, 4.32 is where it maxes out. Okay, it's better than the other one, I think. Okay, so 4.23 is all we get, even with no male fitting in there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is with nothing on there except just that valve fitting, which is probably enough of a restriction. And now we're getting 4.23. And what sucks is, I don't know if I even believe that. Okay, well, that's what it says. Okay, now this is the one going to the back of the house. 5.10. Still, that's what I'm getting. 5.10. As you can see, as is. It's got 2 inline valves, and then a third at the sillcock. So there we go. Alright, so now this is with the quick coupler that has the auto shut off feature. Take that lock off. Okay, so what do we have here? 5.10. Okay, so apparently it doesn't slow it down. Here we are again. Now, same hose, and that's now with the quick coupler that does not have any valve attached. Interesting. Let's give it another moment. Oh, 5.19. That's strange. Okay, 5.1. Okay, now this is interesting because I'm getting, okay, now it's up at 5.01. Now if you turn one of these off, I'm getting, well, it fluctuates. But there you can see, one of these valves open. Okay, we still get a 5 gallon per minute flow rate there with just one. This is, damn it, just one. Yeah, and then if you open both, let's see what happens here. 4.9, yeah, this is just, the fluctuations are really crappy. Now, since we know this hose carries the highest flow rate, okay, let's check this out. It actually goes, it doesn't cross the street completely, but it actually goes over there. Now, okay, so the point is, with this thing open at full throttle, I'm only getting 1.81, okay? Think about this. Damn, this thing rotating. It's rotating and stuff. Okay, 1.73. So it trades volume for pressure. Okay, now this is this fitting. Let's see what we get. 2.33. Okay, so it's more flow rate. Let's just make sure. Yeah, it's actually a higher flow rate. 2.33. Now this one, again with the yellow, 2.42, and that's with this on full. In fact, it actually has some force behind it. It's not the gravity. It's actually the water pressure itself pushing the jet force pushing it around. That's called full, and it takes out 2.5 thereabouts. Okay, the jet mode on that thing. Let's see what we got. 1.5. That's the jet here. As you can see, it's got these different modes. Now there's another one here that I use. Not many of them. I use this one to water stuff, and I also use full. Those are the main ones I use. Okay, we got 2.68. Okay, sorry, 2.85 is what it's reading on the shower mode. 2.85. Alright, I had to reboot that meter there, but here's the thing. Focus lock. Alright, so we have about a 70-foot hose, okay? And then we have another 50-foot, that's the yellow. And then another 50-foot, which is this compressible 5/8. which I suspect draws a lot of power out of the water. But we'll see. Okay, it's gonna reboot right now. And let's see, I'm gonna load it up, fill it up, pressurize it. There we go. Turn it off. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, I hate that this thing keeps switching. This whole thing has been a waste of time. Here we go. 0. Okay, we're back at 0. Let's try to do this right. Make sure it says 0. Okay, opening it up. There we see the flow rate. Okay, we got 1.2. It should increase next time. 2.8. What do we got? 3.1. And yeah, that's where it maxes out. 3.1. There's no kink in here or anything. It's just the hose itself is. Oh, look at this. What's going on here? So yeah, 3.28. Obviously, okay, 3.28 gallons per minute. 3.33, 3.37, 3 1/3. Okay, this is while it's as straight as possible. Now, obviously, if it's tightened up or if you step on it, for sure, I mean, you can see how it reduces it. But anyways, let me just step on it on purpose and let me see what that looks like. I mean, you could see if you really step on it, but if you, let's just see here, 3.02, then it goes down to 2.94. Hang on. Yeah. Now we got the flex hose, all that length of tubing, and we get 2.07. So it's really it's a lot. It's a long line it's going through. It's obviously less than half, but that's the fittings fault. But that hose. Okay, this is conclusive here. 3.1 is the max that you can get out of this thing. 3.28. Okay, 3 1/3. Okay, it just probably the rubber pressing against it. 3.37. It's a 3/4 valve and a 5/8 hose, but it obviously, the pressure of that hose has got to be what's doing it. The pressure of the hose actually pressing back against the water pressure in order to expand the hose enough to operate. That's what's got to be sucking out the energy from there. I mean, look at this. Let's see. We can do actually a measurement of how far it'll spray versus the other. All right. So with this nozzle, I'm going to just shoot straight from where I'm sitting. I'm just sitting right by the water meter, or kneeling, whatever. Okay, so I'm measuring how far it'll spray just laterally from about 1 foot height, and how far I can get it. Okay, so it looks like it's getting right just barely about all that. You see, it doesn't actually go onto the, well, maybe it does. Interesting. So the pressure is good. The pressure is good enough to operate these things that have a lower demand. And we're getting 2.07 gallons a minute. Okay, so now I've put it attached directly to the high flow hose, which is a 5/8 connected to a 1/2 inch internal. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now we got the pressure, and well, let's start by let's start this way. Okay, so how far do I actually go? I don't go. Let's see, how far does it actually go? Yeah. It looks like it goes almost exactly the same. To be honest, it looks exactly the same. And how many gallons a minute are we getting? 2.4. 2.4. Okay, well, 2.3. Okay, I just turned it off. Let's see if it changes anything. Okay, hang on. It's got some flow, but not much. Okay, 0.08. I don't know what the hell that is. Why does it say that 0.08 all the time? Okay, probably just residual. So in conclusion, these flex hoses, although they don't put out the same volume, because of, my guess is the pressure, like, that the hose is pushing against the water source. You know, if you think of it like voltage and current, it's putting an impedance, a physical impedance, on the flow in order to pressurize it. By the time it gets to the end of that 50-foot run, it doesn't have as much volume, because the pressure, although the pressure is the same, it's taxing the volume. But the pressure, if your pressure nozzle is requires a low enough volume, then that doesn't matter, because the pressure is there and you don't need the volume. So the volume is packing up that hose to make it operable, but it does not cause any problems with performance. And with that, now I hopefully can close this file and be done with this and not have to open this damn thing ever again. Thank you.